Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So certain Social Security beneficiaries next month in December will be receiving payments totaling $2,700. So we're going to be covering who is going to be eligible for receiving those payments, as well as the dates in which they will be going out. Plus, we'll be going over a tweet by Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, and there was actually an interesting reply, so we're going to be covering that as well. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Also, if you would be interested in receiving 20 free stocks from Webull, each of these stocks are going to be worth at least $3 each. So it's going to be at least $60 or possibly more. You will have to sign up to Webull and deposit at least 1 penny to receive these stocks, in which at that point you can either keep them or you can sell them and transfer that money right back to your bank account. If you are interested, I will be leaving a link in a pinned comment below, as well as the description box. Okay, so diving into the main content of today's video, the first story that we are going to be covering is, of course, that presidential election coming up in 2024. Right now, it looks like it's going to be the current president, Joe Biden, facing off against the former president in a rematch with the former president in Donald Trump. And of course, we actually have a lot of other third parties throwing their hat into the ring. Of course, we've had Cornel West recently, as well as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Jill Stein. And we may actually have another former senator, or current senator now, he's going to be a former senator come 2024. But we're going to be covering this article here by The Hill. So according to The Hill, West says that third-party critics have a, quote, good reason to be afraid. So independent presidential candidate Cornel West said Tuesday that critics of a third-party ticket have a, quote, good reason to be afraid. He said, quote, I think they have a good reason to be afraid because anybody who wants to speak the truth, when you have a regime in power that denies the truth, anybody who seeks justice, who runs away from justice, they ought to be afraid, West said on Fox News on Tuesday, but that's for the Republican Party and that's for the Democratic Party. West has faced criticism from moderate Democrats and some progressives who said that he could take away votes from President Biden in what appears to be a close 2024 election. His move to third-party ticket came as polling showed that voters were interested in candidates outside of Biden and leading GOP candidate former President Trump. So of course we have the current president, Joe Biden, whose favorability ratings is extremely low, and then former President Donald Trump, his favorability ratings aren't exactly all that high either. But if we look at the polls right now, of course, Trump is leading Biden. These are just polls, so really at the end of the day, anything can happen. But again, we have a lot of third-party candidates throwing their hat into the ring. So once again, we have Cornel West, we have Robert F. Kennedy Jr., we have Jill Stein, and then we also have the current senator of West Virginia and Joe Manchin, who has suggested that he may actually also be running for president. And at least in my opinion, if someone is going to vote for anyone other than Joe Biden, if they're for sure going to be a Democratic voter but might be looking elsewhere, they're going to be voting for one of these four candidates instead of Joe Biden. And we probably don't have a lot of Trump voters who would be switching their votes to one of these four candidates. So if anything happens, if Trump or Biden were to lose the race because one of these four candidates, it would definitely be Biden who would be getting the short end of the stick. But again, even without these four candidates, if we can look at polling here by Real Clear Politics, right now Trump is leading by average at 2.2 points. Again, this is just polling. Anything can certainly happen, but we'll just have to wait and see. But with that said, let me know in the comment section below if it's going to be Biden versus Trump or really anyone else. Who would you be picking to be our next president in 2024? Now, in some other news, of course, we have checks going out to certain individuals on Social Security of $2,700 next month in December. So according to the New York Post, here's who can expect as much as $2,700 in Social Security checks next month. So according to the New York Post, millions of Americans can expect a pair of checks totaling as much as $2,700 from the Social Security Administration in December, a welcome windfall in the middle of a holiday season that's expected to get pricier than ever. There's a catch, however. To receive the payments, American citizens must qualify for Supplemental Security Income SSI benefits. Eligible recipients will receive two checks on December 1st and December 29th. Individuals will receive two $914 checks totaling $1,828, while married couples will receive two installments of $1,371, totaling $2,740. Now, they're actually wrong on this because individuals will actually receive a little bit more for their second check. So the first check is going to be $914 for single individuals. That is the maximum. Most Americans receiving SSI benefits are actually receiving a good bit less than $914, whereas they mentioned there that couples are going to be receiving $1,371. That also is just the maximum. Most married couples are going to be receiving less than that amount. And then, of course, the second payment is actually going to be 3.2% higher, just around that amount, because that's actually going to be the payment for 2024. That's actually going to be the January payment. Usually you'd be receiving that on January 1st, but since January 1st falls on a holiday, you're going to be receiving that a little bit earlier. That's why you're going to be receiving 2 payments next month in December rather than just the usual one. And then you're not going to be receiving any payments in the month of January. So once again, there's going to be 2 payments for SSI recipients. For everyone else receiving Social Security, whether you're receiving SSDI benefits or Social Security retirement benefits, your payment is going to go on the usual dates of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Wednesday of the month. That's going to be December 13th, December 20th, and December 27th. Now we're going to move into some other news where we had Bill Cassidy send out a tweet just a couple of days ago on the platform as X. It's hard to move away from Twitter, from calling it Twitter. It's now called X, of course. And in his post, he said that we must stop lying to the American people about Social Security solvency, period, end of story. So once again, according to numerous reports from the Social Security trustees, in 10 years, if nothing is done about the Social Security Trust Fund and either bringing more money into the trust fund or finding a way to sending less money out of the trust fund, it's going to go insolvent, where we're not going to have enough funds to pay everyone in full. So because of that, everyone receiving Social Security benefits, whether you receive retirement, SSI, or SSDI benefits, you're unfortunately going to receive a cut in your benefits of anywhere between 20 to 25%. This is obviously significant and something definitely needs to be done. As Bill Cassidy says, we cannot continue to kick the can down the road. Now, there was one user on X that actually had an interesting response there. He posted this about who exactly would be eligible for SSI, and it actually includes a lot of non-citizens. So if we look at this thing, it says that if you're paroled into the United States, you would be eligible for SSI payments. If you were admitted as a refugee, if you were granted asylum, if you're an alien whose removal is being withheld, or if you're a Cuban or a Haitian entrant, or if you're admitted as an Afghan or Iraqi special immigrant, if you were admitted as an Afghan humanitarian parolee or Afghan non-special immigrant parolee, or if you're admitted as a Ukrainian humanitarian parolee. Again, in all those cases, you would be eligible for SSI benefits. So we have a lot of benefits going out to those who weren't born in this country. A lot of people would say that it's necessary that we should be doing this. This is people from other countries. Not their fault that they were born in countries with very corrupt governments, and they're coming here, and we need to help them, give them a start here. But again, we have other people who will make the case that Social Security is going insolvent at this point in time. So should we be helping out Americans, making sure that the program does not go insolvent by making sure these payments aren't going out to people who weren't born in the States? Or should we make sure that these people are fine, that they're going to be off to a good start, that we can't have them obviously living on the streets in poor conditions in the States? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I'd definitely love to read them. But that's all we have for today's video. Certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. And I will see you in the next video.